It's a Crazy Chris and Talk Show. Join me again with another show. Friday night, here we are again. Listening to the show again. Oh, it's the Crazy Chris Talk Show. Friday night, April 18th, 2014, yeah. It's the Crazy Chris Talk Show, yeah. It's the Crazy Chris Talk Show. Talking about different subjects, yeah. Oh, it's the Crazy Chris Talk Show. Hello, hello. Time for another show. Welcome back. And the servers are up again. 'Cause fat ass Tim ain't here no more. We still love ya. He said chasing a spider around and ignited and burned us down. But we lost communication. Yeah! Then he tried to put it out with some chips, barbecue flavor that is, and it just made it worse. Yeah! Then I had to come and rescue him. Ooh, 'cause his Oreos weren't in. Yeah! It's the Crazy Chris Talk Show. Rockin' to you don't know. Had to save the show again. Here we are back up again. It's the Crazy Chris Talk Show. Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Crazy Chris Talk Show. Wow, what an opening introduction that was. Woo, am I wired up tonight or what? Hello, hello. Welcome to the Crazy Chris Talk Show, episode 81-3. Oh, we're crazy on the Crazy Chris Talk Show. It's good to be back. Oh my gosh, our servers. They're beautiful. Oh, they're so beautiful. They up and lit up. Not on fire. All right, let's talk about that. Let's get started with this right away. Listen, let me tell y'all what happened. Thank you for your patience, people. Oh my gosh, yes, last week, the Crazy Chris Talk Show was getting ready to go on the air. Earlier that afternoon, as y'all know, Tim, we're giving him a hard time, but, Tim, he always fucking with shit. And I guess he had his last little fuck up for his time being here with us. And he went back there, and this is the story. This is what behind the scenes, and y'all don't know what happened. This is kind of hilarious, really. That's why I was kind of singing about it here a minute ago. He, yeah, he went back there, and he was on break, and he was having lunch, I guess, at the same time. He was walking around back there. In the back where all the, little corner, and back there's a restroom. We have like a little place where we keep all these snacks and stuff on this little shelf, a little rack, one of the little silver racks and stuff. And then there's the restrooms back there, and the utility closets back there, where we keep the mop bucket and shit like that, cleaning supplies. Well, he was on his lunch break, and he's sitting there eating a big ass bag of potato chips. Oh my God, big ass bag of potato chips, okay? Barbecue flavor, that kind of shit, right? And he said he saw a big-ass spider crawling on the wall. Now, up on the wall, back there's all, the wall here, this is an old building, so, it's cinder block. It's all brick. It's all that old-time cinder block brick. Y'all know what I'm talking about, the kind that people usually put underneath the shotgun houses to hold them up. Well, the whole building's made like cinder block. So in the cinder blocks, there's these pylons that come out, these steel little rebarb looking type of brackets, and then there's wood beams, like wood 2x4s going across them, and on them across the planks like railroad tracks is all the servers connected, and it's all the wiring, the harnesses for the telephone lines and the servers and the internet cords and all that, all the satellite stuff coming through here. It goes out to the to the antennas and all that. Then it goes out over the airways and broadcasts out to you eventually. Now, he saw this big ass. He said it was a big ass spider. We ain't never seen the spider yet that he's talking about, but he said it was huge. So fucking apparently it was so fucking it was apparently this spider was so apparently fucking huge. I'm trying to get this out, but I'm just amazed by this bullshit. But apparently this spider must have been the size of a goddamn I don't know, a bowling ball, the way he made it sound like. Went underneath the server. Well, what's he do? He's going to take one of the a pencil that had a sharp point on it, and he's going to stick it under there and start jabbing at it. Kind of, fuck around with the spider. Like, here, little spider. Yeah, I don't know what he was fucking with it for. He put his chips down on the table. He got, mesmerized by this big-ass spider. So he's like, I'm going to fuck around with it and play with it. See, just kind of torture at it. So he's under it. He's jabbing at it. He says, all of a sudden, whoosh! Big old flare. A big old bright, white, almost like white, incandescent flare. Shoots up in front of his eyes, kind of like a big old flash of a camera. You know how you get that flash, you get that kind of like that white glare. He said he kind of shut his eyes for a minute. He kind of stepped back. Then he looked again, and when he opened his eyes, he said, poof! He said a little flame shot up. He said, next he said the server was on fire. So he said he don't know why he did this. Well, we asked him about it later on, but he panicked. Thank God Jason was here in the building. And he wasn't alone, because I truly think that if Tim was alone by himself, you would have burned motherfucking KGTR down to the ground. And we would have been singing, ooh, I'm on fire. So, what does he do? Instead of running to get a powdered extinguisher that we have that's made exclusively for electrical fires, he grabs his trusty bag of barbecue-flavored potato chips and starts showering the fire with potato chips. Like, it's gonna stop the fire. So all he's doing is getting baked Lay's potato chips now instead of regular potato chips. So he starts throwing all these big old bag of barbecue flavored chips all on top of the server. It's not doing anything. What does he do now? Now he's going to sacrifice the lives of Oreos. He grabs these 2-pack Oreos. Thank you very much, Tim, because these are the Oreos that I like to snack on when I do the show. And he threw a whole fucking case of them all over the place, trying to hit it, and thinking that if he threw them at the fire, it would knock the flames out or the air or whatever. Tim just is sometime, folks. Tim was just a little bit slow on some things. We miss him, and he's part of the crew, but he just, he can't get right. Y'all remember Can't Get Right? Yeah, he was one. He took that star real quick. So yeah. So what happened then? Jason overheard the commotion, and Jason looked out and he saw the flames. He just knows, okay, it's time to grab fire thing. He grabs the powder thing, he puts them out. But by this time, them flames had already spread. We had 8 servers, folks. 8 servers. Each server holds approximately 15,000 listeners. Okay, we can broadcast and connect up to 15,000 listeners per unit. We had 8 of them. 6 of them were gone. Totally engulfed by the flame. He managed to put the fire out, but all the plastic casings on the servers were melted. All the internal wiring, the little tiny screws, the little gold connectors, all that was melted. They were ruined. They're gone. They're precisely, y'all know how it is when y'all have a router or a modem at your house that allows you to hook up to the internet. Y'all know that those little things are lightweight, they're plastic, they don't take much to ruin them. You put something on them, they break. If they get wet, they're ruined. It doesn't take much to, pretty well damn feel good it all the way through. So it didn't take much for that kind of a fire to ruin them. I managed to supervise what was left of them, and I came, and I diligently worked and got the 2 servers to work again. Out of the 8, we were able to figure out how to wire the 2 only to the system. We did have the system up and running for a couple hours. until it came time to re-air the show. Now, this was, of course, Sunday night. By the time yeah, yeah. This was Sunday night when we managed to get these servers up and running. 39 minutes of the show, of the broadcast of the live show we did Friday, y'all didn't get to hear on the Crazy Chris Talk Show. Servers went down. They couldn't handle it. More people tried to connect on than the 30,000, maximum, and all probably 60, 70,000 of y'all tried to log on the servers, and they couldn't handle on just two, and it crashed them again, and of course they just was ruined. We kind of jerry rigged it up for the time being, and we thought we could play it through the weekend, play it off, but eventually it didn't happen. Monday came. Proud to say we'd put some brand new servers in. Thank you, Cisco Entertainment, Cisco Limited. Those of y'all know about Cisco Communications. They're in a lot of the more of the commercial than the private sector, but yeah, they make wonderful, great telecommunications, internet, telephone services, and obviously radio stations as well. Thank you for getting us up and running. The units look great, brand new. We're using them tonight. Has no problems. The cooling tanks look really, really cool. There's no hot down, no blowback from this. It really, really looks awesome. So yeah, let's keep broadcasting. Let's hope we keep it that way until we make the next move with all this. So for now, KGTR is back on the air. Haha, internet anyways. And not just through the FM station. Those of y'all that were listening to the show, y'all heard it through the FM station. That was the only people that got to hear Friday night show. We had approximately less than 250 people that heard the show Friday night. So Miss Cherie was very disappointed that basically nobody really heard the show other than a handful of people. We call it a handful of people. Handful of people is anything under 1,000 listeners. So 250 people literally is a handful of people. When you're out here in the middle of a country cow town, it means a lot when you have more than a handful of people listening to a broadcast. So with that being said, we're glad the servers are back up. Tim, please, I don't know what you was thinking when you was trying to mess with the when you was messing around that spider, but you and that spider cost us mega thousands of dollars to get this back up and running. But you know what? We're here, episode 81-3. We got a good subject matter for you tonight. Woo-wee! I'm going to step on some toes tonight with this after I make a few more announcements. And I just want y'all to know that it's nothing personal. I'm not saying that it's all women's fault, but a lot of this is about women tonight and some about men. Men, you're not out of the woodworks yet. No, men. Yeah. So, you just got to understand that I'm going to be talking very, 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 I'm going to be talking very, very superficial about women tonight. And some of this is based on personal experiences, but a lot of it is also taken from excerpts as well as from studies and surveys that were conducted, studied, and also people's word of mouth. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to be talking about different things tonight. We're going to be talking about warning signs when you're in an unhealthy relationship, and that's the subtopic for it. But the main show topic tonight is when to let go of a worthless, not going anywhere relationship. Okay, so basically we're going to be talking about hopeless union. Okay, that's our topic today. A hopeless union, because there's not going. A union means when two people come together and make it happen. And tonight we're going to talk about relationships that just ain't going nowhere. You're wasting your time with this relationship. We're going to talk about some of the things that fall under this category and how we come to this conclusion. And there's a lot of that going on out there. and it's not fair. You should get your head out of your ass on this subject matter. Ladies, some of y'all out there are real notorious for this. I'm sorry I'm going to step on your toes tonight, but it is what it is. Some of y'all really, really need to pay attention to this. Some of y'all are doing this right now to somebody, man or woman, and some of y'all are getting treated like this. A lot of y'all are. And so we're going to be talking about that tonight here on the Crazy Chris Talk Show. It's April 18th, Friday night, 2014. Woo! Yeah. Oh, man. We're going to try to get y'all in and off the air tonight quick enough before the servers go back down. Ha ha! Psych. No, so we get you back to your weekend and some great love-making music. Don't y'all just love the music we play between the re-airings? Now, yes, of course, my picks are always special, ain't they? I love my picks, y'all. Woo-wee. Because they special. Special for the one in my life. Special. Woo-hoo. Special to the girl that's in my life. Yeah. Now, crying, loving, leaving. I know. And like I said, Miss Shreem is here right now. She'll be like, ha 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 ha. She probably is right now. Probably still eating her little fucking roly-poly self, eating them damn fat-ass fruit baskets right now. And then you're going to look at Tim getting his little extra money. Talking about, ooh, when am I going to get mine? Man, I got to say, Miss Shreem, you don't miss a fart, do you? You be watching with everything going on in the room instead of concentrating on what you should be concentrating on. Nah, anyhow. Woohoo! That means that's time for a knuckle slap. Yeah, there you go, knuckle slap. So, all right, I'm gonna beat on my tom tom tonight. So because I'm gonna be stepping on some feelings. So this is Crazy Chris's tom tom show tonight. Okay, and when I start getting into a real touchy subject, you're gonna hear me go like this. All right, let's try the other way. I don't know. We'll see how well that works. So, Crazy Chris is Tom Tom right here. It even says it. Crazy Chris Tom Tom. I'm getting on my soapbox tonight. So, yeah, a little bit on my soapbox tonight. Ooh. So, Crying, Love, and Leaving is coming soon. Life Beats with Crazy Chris. Woo-hoo! We got put off with the cold weather and all that rain. Life Beats with Crazy Chris is filming this week, coming up. Yeah, Easter, week of Easter. It's filming. We're going to be on the streets. Holla, holla. It's time to get out there with the Crazy Chris Life Beats Show. Woo! We're going to start filming that here soon. You might see me in your neck of the area. You might see me in your woods. You never know. Crazy Chris, Life Beats. Don't want to miss the first show. Hey, we'll be putting that on our YouTube channel. Did you subscribe yet to our YouTube channel? If you haven't, what you waiting on? Get your ass on over to youtube.com. Go to KGTR FM. KGTR space FM. And it'll pull up our channel as well as some of the videos. Folks, you can catch several videos on there now. They're constantly adding new ones. I heard they even got one of my commercials up there. My Crying, Loving, Leaving commercials on there. Some of y'all like to hear that little sexy, Crazy Chris. Hello. Are you crying, loving, or leaving? You want to know? Strip them panties off and we can talk about it. Bam! No. But yeah, you can catch some of my shows up there right now. And they're going to constantly be adding some more here. Make sure you listen to them. Support our YouTube channel. Get on there and subscribe. Subscribe. That's all we say. Just like we told you to do on your Facebook message today. Hey! Yeah. We got a lot of great stuff coming up on that YouTube. The Crazy Chris Life Beat Show will be aired first. It goes first to the radio. And then it'll go to YouTube after that. The good thing about when it goes to YouTube is you get the special bonus video edition, which means you actually get to see what the show was about, not just hear it as you will on the radio. So, pretty good, huh? Yeah. Now, let's move right along. Sinuses is a bitch this time of year, ain't it? Woo! Yeah, 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 yeah. Up. Here we go. Tom music. We'll do that through the whole show, okay? Always keeping you on your toes right here with the Crazy Chris Talk Show. Always keeping you on your toes with the Crazy Chris Talk Show. Hey, hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Woo, so I got a whole fucking Indian tribe up in here. Hey, yeah, 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 hey. Man, you know what I was just thinking now? I just got this really sick feeling that how would you... I know this has nothing to do... Hey, this is Crazy Chris Talk Show. What the hell? Could y'all imagine taking a whole bunch of Indian tribe people and tell them to cut loose in the middle of a Southern Baptist church service? I'm just thinking how that would go. Probably something like this. Jesus, hey! Jesus, hey! Jesus, hey! Lord! Jesus, hey! Jesus, hey! Oh my gosh! If I'm not on the Crazy Chris after the show tonight, y'all know why. Because somebody hey-heyed up my ass and I got electrocuted. Oh my gosh, I'm wired up, y'all. Some of y'all listen, and you know what? Here's yes, and we talked about this before. I just want to reiterate that Crazy Chris is not on drugs. Okay, some of y'all have concerned yourselves that y'all want to know if I'm actually taking something to make me this way. No, this is Crazy Chris being natural in the flesh. Life is about fun and love. You gotta have fun. You gotta be loving what you do. You know. Go get. You gotta be fun and loving, and always play with your. Hey, hey. You gotta play with your tom tom. Those of y'all, you know what? We're gonna start selling tom toms. Y'all want us to sell the official Crazy Chris tom tom? We will give you information on how you can get your official Crazy Chris tom tom. Go to KGTR FM at yahoo.com and request a authenticated Crazy Chris tom tom of your own. Yeah. And we're going to get one lucky Tom Tom, which is the one I'm using now. And that will go to one lucky winner for free. We'll mail it to you as courtesy as a KGTR FM 91.9 and internet radio stations. Wow. I feel like I'm drunk. And y'all wonder if I'm on drugs. Maybe I'm a little bit too much intoxicated. Oh. So anyways, yeah, tonight's show, I'm going to be stepping on some toes. Might be stepping on some ankles. Hell, I might even step on some kneecaps tonight with this shit. Ladies, you know what? It is what it is. Y'all know y'all money-hungry bastards and bitches out there. You know, guys, y'all know y'all some bastards out there. Y'all women out there, y'all bitches, hoes, sluts, you know, whatever you want to be called. Y'all know what y'all doing. Some of y'all out there are don't be shy. Don't be mad. Be what it is. You know you a bitch, then be a good bitch. Be the baddest bitch you can. If you a slut, be the best slut you can. Spread them legs and fuck, and show people I'm the best whore in this town. Take pride and ownership of what you want to be. That's what I always tell people. Take pride and ownership in what you want to be. Hey, that's impact behind the mic. That's magic behind the metal, folks. That's create impact behind the metal. Yep, that's Crazy Chris' slogan right there. That's one of them. You know, but yeah, you know, you gotta put yourself first before you put, you know, just like song. Gotta put yourself first. Yeah, girl. Yeah, girl. You gotta put yourself first. Ah, sugar. Gotta put yourself first. Yeah. Gotta put yourself first. Ain't nobody gonna tell me. Ain't nobody gonna show it. Ain't nobody gonna tell me that I ain't number one. That's a good attitude to have. Yeah, you gotta put yourself first, people, before you start putting other people first. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be like way out there in the left field of it. Now, so yeah, anyhow, bam! Shut up. All right. Those of y'all don't understand what's going on. Well, you're in another fucking world anyway. Welcome to the Crazy Chris Talk Show, by the way. If you just now join us, you missed all the damn announcements, and we're getting ready to start the show, the official part of the show. Yep, after we just got through the open announcements times 2, open announcements times 4. So, yeah. That really confused you now? Good. That's the whole plan. Welcome to the Crazy Chris Talk Show, episode 81-3, tonight, April 18th, 2014! Woo! We just celebrated 80 shows last Friday with a little bit of complications, but we're getting through it. We are down to 19 shows left. That includes this one tonight. So after tonight, we'll be down to 18. That's a magic number, 18. Barely legal. Aha! Barely legal. Yeah. So yeah, let's just go ahead and let's get ready to get started because we only got a little bit of time. You know how fast our time goes on this talk show, and then we got to cut for a music break on Crazy Chris's picks for tonight, and then we'll be back live again here for another 15 or 20 minutes doing the Crazy Chris after the show when the lights go down. It's going to be a very good episode tonight too. You don't want to miss it. Short, but very, very educational and very meaningful, and it adds to what we already talked about and kind of seals the deal on some of the stuff. So don't miss the Crazy Chris after the show, folks. Make sure you are sticking around for after the show, because if you're not, and I find out, I'm going to come to your house at 3, 4 o'clock this morning, and I'm going to be like, hey, wake your ass up, hey. All right, let's get started. Woo! Yeah. Light up, puff up, pass. All right, let's get started. All right, tonight's episode is 81-3. Wasting your time on your significant other. That's the actual official title I'm looking at right now. I know I told you a little something different a minute ago, but this is the actual title right here. Wasting your time on an individual. Yep. So, what are we talking about? This is about y'all people out there that are involved or trying to get involved in a relationship and you're not seeing it go nowhere, okay? How many of y'all out there in relationships right now that you're talking to somebody on those dating sites? Maybe you're on that damn crappy POF. Plenty of fuck-ups is what I call it. Been there and done that some years ago. Or maybe you met somebody through Facebook. Shit, that damn thing. People call it Facebook. I call it fuck book because that's where a lot of people meet up to get a fuck. Get a good fuck at Facebook. Get a good fuck at Facebook. You can't get nowhere, but you can get on to where. Hey! Yeah. So, or MySpace or any one of them free places you can do it at. Online booty call. Hello, I like an online booty call. Yeah, could you imagine it? Oh, hell. See, y'all give me ideas. Could you imagine a little Iranian guy calling up, going, hello, I like a little online booty call. Yeah. Would you like a ride on my magic carpet? Yeah, so, but for real, honestly, how many of y'all are stuck in relationships right now that are not going nowhere? She's impossible. She's not into you, you're into her, or he's not into you and you're all into him. You're trying to get their attention. You let them know how you feel, and it's just not going nowhere. Y'all talk, y'all text, but nothing's happening. There's no multiplying. There's no increased action going on, and of course, the big no sex. Yep, you heard me. Let's say it again. No sex. Yeah, some of y'all realize you're getting no sex from this person, and that's really a really major deal breaker, isn't it, guys? Ladies, even for y'all, it's a deal breaker for some of y'all normal ones out there, the ones that are not from another planet, or the ones that didn't come from planet old school. You know, some of y'all got sucked into that theory, and now some of y'all believe you shouldn't, they're waiting for another 30, 60 days, some of these people, from start to finish, and I think it's ridiculous. I really do. Reader last week commented, and they said you could be with somebody and have sex with somebody on the first date and be happily ever after with them forever and ever. or you can wait the 90 days before you have sex with that person, have sex with them, and never see them again. That's what I'm talking about. So you can't base your relationships on the amount of time or when it's the right time or when you think it's the magic time to have sex. Folks, this is what we've been talking about the last couple of weeks. We've been mentioning that, and it's been steadily coming up in some of the other subject matters. And never again, it's never a dull subject to talk about because it's so phenomenal to see how many women are out with their boyfriends today and don't want to give it up. They don't want to give him a piece of ass. They want to just talk. They might want to go out and date. They may want to go out and have a little bit of dinner with you every now and then. But they don't want to do nothing else. They don't want to get serious. Hell, they may not even let you start kissing them yet. You're on the third and fourth date. You know what I say to that? Hey, get up out of there. Tell that bitch head off. Tell that bitch run off. Yeah. Yeah, that's what you need to do. Yeah, literally. But we're going to talk about that when we get to that point here in a second. Now, some of the other stuff that you're going to notice that leads up to this, that your relationship is not going, or you're wasting your time with this woman, or you're wasting your time with this man. And yes, as you can see, I'm saying men too. Okay, this goes both ways. I'm not being biased on gender or gender bias. I'm being honest and the best I can. Men and women alike. Okay, there you have it. Because some of y'all feel like we don't never dish out on the men too much, but we do. If you've been listening to all 81 shows, you'll know there's been several times, more than once, more than twice, more than 3 times, more than a lot of times that we have been hard on the man too. We know men are not perfect. We know that men, I'll tell you the heartbeat. Men are D-O-W-G-S, dogs. We know that. Now, let's get started. Okay, so first thing I'm going to talk about is when you start taking granted of each other. Because when you're not really loving that person and you're not really in it for love, you're in it for something else. And that usually means you want to just take granted. You want to take each other for granted. And that's what someone wants to do to you. And, you know, that's one of the clear signs of an unhealthy relationship is that you're constantly taking your partner for granted. Do you just assume that he is going to stay with you or she's going to stay with you? Do you assume that your girlfriend or your boyfriend is going to pack your lunch every damn day? You know, these are little things that can actually break up a relationship and also can make people very, very resentful, okay? So, you know, that's not good, okay? So, what we want to figure out now is the next thing that I want to talk about. It's called lack of trust. Oh, something big in some of you ladies out here. Now, do you find that in your relationship that you don't trust your man to go out by himself? Do you read through his or her emails? That is not a good relationship. Girls and guys, there is an actual one sign of an unhealthy relationship. And that is you should be able to trust every single bit of help information that he's using without you having to go back and assume he's cheating on you. You should be able to trust every single bit of your partner and should be able to trust them not to cheat around on you, okay? So let's talk about another key factor here. All right, let's talk about constant insults. That's bad. Does your relationship consist of constant snipping? Do you feel like you're always having to be on the defense? Well, girls, that is one of the top signs of an unhealthy relationship. Your boyfriend should make you feel amazing. He shouldn't constantly be putting you down. That could actually be a sign that you're in an emotionally abusive relationship. Does your boyfriend tell you, you're fat? Does he tell you need to lose weight? Does he call you a slut, a whore, a dirty bastard, a dirty bitch? What does he call you? Is he calling you something other than your name? Other than your God-given name that your mama and daddy named you when you popped out of your mama's pussy? Is he calling you something more than the slang term that most women accept? Baby, boo, love, baby cakes, something pleasant, not, bitch, you know what? Do this for me. Bitch, get out of my face. Hey, hoe, whore, flute, You know what I'm saying, the whole 9 yards. Okay? If he is throwing constant insults at you ladies, that's not a good man to be with. Same thing for you, man. Some of y'all women out there are very, very quick to fry your ass up in a frying pan for not agreeing the same way that, the same way that she would be like to raised. So I'm sorry getting the information tied up on uh, you know, but it sounds like I'm just badgering one person at a time. But I'm trying to tell you tonight was about men and women. Okay, there is no diversion of race here. Okay, black, white, it don't matter. I'm good with that. Okay. Now, what about social isolation? Social isolation means when you begin to isolate yourself completely from your family and also from your friends or from your boyfriend or girlfriend. Now, that could be another sign that your relationship isn't healthy. Okay? You need your family and you're going to need your friends to survive, especially in these times of need. Now, you need other opinions in your life besides your partner. So, if you find that he expects you to just spend time with him all the time, that is a sign to be careful. Okay, so basically, what they're conveying on this is simply as this: you might find yourself in a predicament where he wants you to spend all your time with him, right? So, but you have other things to do. You want to say you got stuff in the morning to do, and then you got to go exercise like I do. Walk around the track in the morning. That's my busy time. I don't have time for anything else. That's my time to just dedicate to my body and say, I owe this to you. And then, if anybody else has a problem, then they can talk to the Tom Tom. Hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, 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 fuck you and your ideas. I'm trying to get my own. Hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep. Just make sure you're walking up out there tonight with me. So, you have to have quality time with your man or quality time with your girl, but that doesn't mean you're doing that 23 hours, 50 minutes, and 10 seconds of the day. They don't leave her but what? less than 9 minutes? So you give her 9 minutes, and that's probably enough time for her to take a piss once or twice during the day. So you are occupying all of her time, which we learned that this can turn into a possessive type of relationship, and we know that possessiveness always turns into aggressiveness. No doubt. No shit. Okay? Here's another something that you're probably going to be constantly reminded of. Here's another slogan. Always burned. You're always getting burned. Not me. Why? Why, you say? Why? Because you can't blame each other. Always blaming. Another sign, people, involves constantly blaming your partner, or you're looking for ways to blame him or her or everything. Girls, your partner is not always the person to blame for everything. Some of y'all women come home and you blame him for every damn fucking thing under the sun. He is not the person you should be blaming everything on, and vice versa. There are times that things are happening for a reason. Now, you at work and he at work, and all of a sudden you come home and you got a ton of water underneath your door. It's not your fault. It's not his fault that your fucking water heater decided to bust its ass open, and now you got a flood in your living room, and you're having to call your insurance company because your furniture is now soaked up with half of a ton of water that come out of the water heater. And, your furniture and your carpet's all wet. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Then you have to call the restoration people to come out, and, and they have to come out and blow. They do a pretty good job, But you know what I'm saying. It's going to cost you money. Inconvenience, inconvenience, inconvenience. And, of course, we're always taking a chance of living along, certain areas when you live. If you're living along, edges of mountains, you could collapse. If you're living by too many schools, then it might be under lockdown. If you live near the prison, they may have you locked up just for coming outside. You don't never know what's going on. It's best to know your surroundings. It's best to know what the rules are and try to follow them long term. That's my best policy for that. Now let's talk about something else called truth. You gotta have truth, truth, truth. Yeah, nothing like telling the truth. Well, while you might not exactly be lying to your partner about where you were or even where you've been, you probably aren't telling the truth, right? Now, the last, Or at least you're going to leave the truth out of it and avoid the question. The omission of truth is yet another sign that you're in an unhealthy relationship. Girls and guys, while you don't necessarily need to tell your partner everything, you should be pretty open with them. Now, I'm the type of man that loves to tell my girl what I'm doing, where I got to go, what I got to do, and sometimes that annoys them. In some relationships, that has actually become annoying. And they would tell me, you don't have to tell me everything you're doing. Well, that's good. I've gotten so used to where I felt like I had to tell where I was going, what I was doing. Or women get attitudes. But then you ask a woman what she got to do, and it's like asking her how old she is. She does not like that, especially on an older woman. Don't go trying to play around with them, and and start playing games because you may get your feelings hurt. Okay, it's like trying to go ask them how old they are or something like that. People don't like that. Okay, so there's some things people are partial to. Some people are very impartial to certain things. Okay, now, so truth. You gotta have truth in a relationship, people. You gotta have truth. If you're messing with somebody right now and they don't know how to be truthful with you about anything, and every time you ask them something, it's a different story, or you're getting a different story every time, that means the story changes a lot because they can't keep the story straight with you. So how do you know they keep the story straight with themselves? Come along with truth. Not too far behind it comes no communication. Now, another sign involves, like I say, no communication. Can you walk into a room and not say anything at all to your partner for hours? I'm sorry, but that's not a relationship, girls or guys. You want to be able to share with your boyfriend or girlfriend and communications through your problems, do you not? Because when we communicate our problems to each other, we're able to alleviate ourselves or feel better about ourselves about the situation that we were already in. Never mind that we're already feeling like shit. We want to come home to somebody that we can trust, right? You want to come home to somebody you can talk to. If you're not getting this out of the person you're with, you know what you need to do, right? Talk to them and get it understood. And if that's not going through the head, then you need to get on your tom-tom. Hey, da, 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 and get rid of them. Hey, da, 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 get rid of them. Oh, yeah. Dr. Tom Tom says get rid of them. Kabusha! Babusha! Babushka! Adios! Sayonara! Goodbye. Nobody knew how to say goodbye better than America Online. Goodbye. Yeah! For real. So, you had to be more proactive in your conversations. So, woo! No communication. No communication is not a relationship, ladies and gents. It really isn't. That's a bad way to roll. It's a bad way to go. Let's talk about attempts to keep control. Now, we talk about some of these things these are little snippets and tidbits from other subject matters that we talked about, and we know that control in a relationship is what? It's a no-no. Okay, when you start controlling your partner, that's the wrong way to turn down the street. Ladies, some of y'all do that. Some of you women have that bad. You want to control that man. You're trying to tell him how he should do things. You don't no longer start suggestion. You start expecting or telling him. Okay? And you get to the point where you want to tell him how he should do everything. When you start being controlled, that's not good. Okay? Now look. As men and as women, we all appreciate being able to go to our partner and get advice, right? But when your partner always tries to advise or influence you to do certain things, that could be an attempt to control you. Does he tell you who to be friends with, what things to wear, and what to do with your spare time? Does she tell you you need to answer your phone every time she calls? Does she give you a certain time that you need to do this or do that? Does she tell you she has to be everywhere you go, guys? Or maybe you have to do something that totally doesn't have anything to do with, maybe you got to take care of some personal business. Does she does she not have trust enough in you that she feels like, well, I gotta go because you might do something? Does she have a problem with that? Does she tell you where to go, what to do, how you want to spend your personal time? These are things that are not good. Okay, these are all leading up to attempts of control. Now, what might seem harmless in the beginning usually manifests or grows into something more controlling. It gets to the point where control overtakes action, and then when the actions start becoming exploited and they're not controlled actions, that's where you get unfavorable responses to what you're trying to communicate, ultimately to your partner, and you're destroying the relationship by leaps and bounds. So don't do that. If you feel like you're starting to control somebody, stop. If you want an opinion, then get your opinion, but don't press it any further. If they say, "Oh, okay," or if they don't do it right then and there, let them think about it. Okay? Most people are thinkers. Okay? Most people are thinkers. They think before they process. Very few people do rapid processing and then they think about the consequences later, because that usually gets most people in trouble. Most people have to take an idea and they think about it. Somebody wants to go out and buy a brand new car. They don't just go to the car lot right there and say, "I'll buy it." They don't even have to think about it. "I'll buy it." Same thing when they're getting into a relationship. They don't just jump in a relationship and say, "We're girlfriend, boyfriend. I want to be committed to you right now. Bam, 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 bam. Let's do it." Really don't happen that way. You got to talk. You got to get to know each other a little bit. And I'm not saying you have to get to talk to each other a long time or you got to meet each other, but you got to at least talk, okay? Communication is how you get sucked into the wanting of being with somebody. It's a balance of different things that you have to do to get yourself to that point where you can feel comfortable with that partner like that, okay? Now, here's another big one. This is bad. This is bad, and women make a big mistake of this right off. Women are notorious for doing this right off, and men do it too. I'm gonna have to say men too, because men can do this too. Keeping secrets. Yeah, men have kept secrets from the new woman they're with, and new women do it to the men. When you're in a relationship, that means when you decide you want to become exclusive to each other, there should be no reason to keep secrets from your partner at that time. If you feel that he's not trustworthy or that he'll use the information against you, then this is definitely unhealthy, and couples should be able to talk openly with one another without having to keep secrets. If you cannot trust your partner with information, then he needs to move on. It's time for you to move on. You know what? It's official tom-tom. Hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, 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 keep it moving, dump his sorry ass. Yep, dump his sorry ass. If he's got to keep doing secrets with you, and he's keeping secrets from you, and he's not trusting you, and it's like that on every conversation, and y'all never have no compatibility or don't come to some kind of agreement on the issues when it comes to this, you can't do anything else, right? You got to dump his sorry ass. He's no good for you, ladies. I'm sorry. Have to do it. Whoa, hey. Here's another one. Lack of respect. You got to respect. RESPCT. That's what we all need in our life. RESPCT. Respect. Yeah. If you're not respecting her, guys, then you're not having a relationship with her. If you're not respecting him, ladies, you're not having a relationship with him. You gotta have some respect. Some of y'all ladies out there don't want to have respect for your man. And when I say respect, that could range from acknowledging him for his place in being in the relationship, all the way up to just cheating around on him. There's different forms of respect, and there's lots of ways you can disrespect each other. So you have to be really, really careful. Okay? A sure sign of an unhealthy relationship is having a lack of respect for one another. If he frequently breaks promises or criticizes you to make himself feel better, he's not going to be showing you much respect. You shouldn't have to feel put down or feel like you're not important. If he doesn't make you feel like you're that most special person in the world, then maybe you're not. Maybe somebody else is. And if you're not the one that's special and he's not showing that you're very important to him, then you need to find yourself that somebody will think you're important. You deserve that, ladies. You owe that to yourself. But same thing, guys. If a woman is running around and she's not really trying to get to know you and not give you that respect to, and she's just kind of parading you around in circles and laughing at you because after all, she's inside the big top. She's making the money. She's leading the show. She has an arm or leg extended out for some time, and guys and girls are riding the little rides, you know, at the amusement parks, where you got these colorful people come out because there's so many of them. I know they do, especially around Atlanta, Georgia. They have this carnival. It's called something a black celebration or something like that, and it's awesome. I mean, everybody comes out. The little kids dance on the side of the road, dance back and forth. You know, you can catch it online. It's called community dances. They do it there in Florida. It's really cool. They do it in Louisiana too. They also call their street parties. Ha! Imagine that, especially down the quarter. But here's the thing. You know, I don't want to get too far off it. You gotta have respect. Have respect. That's your partner. That's your baby. That's your boo. Have respect for him or for her. Do you want to be paraded around and not have no respect? You're not a dog. You're not an animal on a leash, ladies. You are a woman. You are a lady. He needs to show you that. Oh, yes. He needs to prove that to you. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I mean, he has to show that. So, let's talk about something else. Now, some of y'all women are going to be applauding this one because some of y'all are going to be like, oh, yeah, that's what it's all about. Oh, yeah. Shut up. Sit your ass down somewhere and listen. Now, understand what I say. It's all about sex. Okay? Now, sex is an important part of a relationship, but that is not all of it, okay? If you and your partner rarely communicate, that means y'all don't talk, y'all don't text, y'all don't talk on the phone, y'all don't see each other. The only time that you are close enough into one another is when you are in the bed. That's not what a relationship's about. Sex should be the icing on the cake, and it complements a strong, emotionally intimate bond. And I promise you, ladies and gents, when you have great communication and you have trust in each other, when you see each other, the sex is off the chain. That's right. It should be the icing on the cake. Now, some of y'all, all y'all heard was, when I first said it's all about sex. I'm not talking about because he wants to have sex with you all the time. There's nothing wrong with having a lot of sex. I'm saying, though, if he doesn't show other forms of communication with you or intimacy with you besides sex, then yeah, I would say there's a problem there. Okay? I would say that if y'all not doing something with each other other than sex, y'all not going out to eat, you're not talking on the phone, you're not texting, all you do is you hear from him once a week say, hey, what you doing? It's 12 o'clock at night, you busy? No, you come on over. He comes over and he fucks you. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, he's leaving, and you don't see him for another week or 2 weeks. You know, never mind, he doesn't come down. Y'all don't talk. Y'all don't watch a movie. When he comes to you, y'all don't go out to eat. You don't do nothing but just fuck. There's nothing wrong with fucking. You can fuck every week when he comes see you. But do something else. Show her that it's not just about sex, but sex makes it much better when you add it in with other things you can do. But don't just come and make it look like it's a booty call, because there's a difference between having a relationship and having a booty call. Hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. All right? You gotta know what I'm talking about here. Don't let it be just a platonic sexual relationship. Let it be a love and intimate relationship. Trust me, there is a difference. Now, here we go. Unhealthy jealousy. Now, I'll be the first to tell you that a little jealousy doesn't hurt. But when your partner is envious of your job or doesn't like the fact that you have a lot of friends, now that's unhealthy. Your partner should be able to be happy for you and your accomplishments and not feel like he is in competition with you. Okay? If you have a man that feels like he's in competition with you, then there's a problem with that. Now, some of y'all women are like, oh, that's exactly, that's exactly what's going on. That he's feel like there's competition with me because I have other friends. Why would he be feeling that? Maybe you're making him feel that way. Maybe you're talking about stuff you're going on. You're just praising the Lord out of this one man that's in your life. You know, some of y'all women have that ride or die guy y'all like to go to when y'all had a friend? Y'all call that guy. He'd be like the more or less the one to listen to all your guy talk that or the guy situations you're going through. And you need to get it decoded by another man. So you go to him. He kind of squares you up straight. Doesn't mean that you know. uh, doesn't mean that he feels like he's in competition with you because he thinks you're going to cheat on him or something. He's in competition because you're paying more attention to a guy that you're not being intimately with, but you spend more time talking to him. I think it's very unhealthy to have guy friends when you decide to settle down. And then I know some of y'all say, well, Chris, what am I supposed to do? I've had this friend long before I met this guy. I was friends, let's take it for example. Let's just take for example. Sally has a friend named David. That's her ride and die guy. She goes to him, she talks to him, they've known each other for off and on, 5, 6, 7 years. They talk about, at times, on the phone about different things going on in one another's lives. He gives Sally some really good information that she needs from time to time when it pertains to men and relationships and going out on dates and getting answers to some of her whacked out wild Far West questions. But then she finally does meet somebody. Okay? She goes out with him, everything's good. What's the first thing she's going to do? She's going to go back and carry back all her little good times and how he is. And if he's lacking in something, she's going to bring that up too, which is not good. Who do you think she's going to tell this to? She's going to go tell it to her ride or die guy. Now, he has more control because that's her ride or die guy, and she made that clear to him. Or that's her best bud, or BFF, whatever you want to call these people. There's lots of names for them. Best friend forever, ride or die guy, whatever. So she tells him, if he more or less has control over the relationship than she does. Because if he don't like this guy for whatever reason, or there's a key word that he picked up that he just feels unsure about this guy, he gonna bum rush her and tell her, oh, that's not the guy for you. You really need to stay away from him. He just ruined this for you, my friend. And he's not fucking her, and they're not doing nothing, but he just gives her advice, but he just cuts your supply off, just like that. Why? Because he don't like you. He don't like where you parked this morning when he got to work. He don't like the fact that he almost stepped on your ass because you were out to filming this morning for the Crazy Chris show, for the deal that we had last week when they replayed it for you. You never know, right? You never know when it may be a good time to get up and be able to walk somewhere. So, having that flexibility, and going back now, so you can't say that it wasn't because he felt like there's no competition. Of course it's going to feel like there's competition, because now you're going back and carrying all his private matters over to another guy. And he don't want to hear all that. You feel what I'm trying to say? So, yeah, there is, unhealthy jealousy. There could be some jealousy, especially if you're going out having lunch with this other guy. And sometimes we get the hint from some of the messages or some of the previews that the last, for example, last episode of my favorite show, The Walking Dead, they usually gave a snitch pitch of what would happen, when they went backwards. You got to stay as a group. That's what they learned. Well, that's just the same way now. You got to stay as a group, okay? Because you don't, you're going to get separated and you're going to get vulnerable, okay? It's unhealthy jealousy when you feel like you got to be in competition. And I agree with that. You should not have to feel like you're battling. If you got to go to this ride or die guy for all your needs, that's what you need a boyfriend for. That should be the guy you go to for everything. It's not David's business no more, Sally. You're not single no more. You're trying to get to know a guy. David does not need to know play by play, step by step, what's going on at your house with this with little Johnny trying to get at you. That's not his business unless you call him down there. So yeah, you ladies do put some competition into the mix. Whether you feel like you're not, you do. And that's wrong. That's wrong. It's best way to prevent this, ladies, if you've been talking to other men before you really got serious with the one you're trying to get serious or the one that you think you want to get serious. You wasn't serious with nobody, then you have a right to talk to them as many as you want because it was on an equal plateau. But now you with somebody. You say you love them. You having sex with him. You don't have no business having any conversation with any other man. You have no other business. Why? You don't need no other male friends to give you any advice when you have your own personal man in the bed that's going to cater to you and love you. That's what I'm trying to say. You're not going to have, you shouldn't have to have all that. No. That is not what it's about. Competition should not be there. Therefore, unhealthy jealousy will not exist. Let's talk about no compromise. Woo. Mm-hmm. That's a big part, isn't it? A big part of any relationship, whether this is going to be a romantic one or a platonic, is compromise. Okay? We can't always have things go exactly the way we want, so it's important to compromise. If your partner isn't able to make concessions, it's going to make your life and relationship extremely difficult. And you probably need to, hey, yeah, call it quits. Put his ass to the curb, throw her ass to the world. Oh, yeah. Chris having fun tonight with this tom-tom. I'm going to play with this during break. Yeah. No, but serious, no compromise. I'm sorry. It's gonna make your relationship extremely difficult, and you don't need that. You do not need to have that problem in your relationship. You do not need to have where you can't compromise each other. If you can't compromise, you can't solve problems. You can't do it. Okay? My last tip for you is you love being in love. Are you in love with being in love but not in love? Now, I'm not trying to say I'm questioning your feelings, but there are some people who love the ideal of being in a relationship, so they stay in relationships even if they're unhappy. That's not a way to live, okay? If you're only in it because of your desire to be in a relationship, or you don't want to be alone and you won't ever be happy, that's not good. So guys and girls, do you see any of these signs in your relationship tonight that I'm talking about? I've known I've seen a few in mine in the past. And I had to work on them and I had to fix them. Just because you've been in an unhealthy relationship doesn't mean you can't get it better. As long as you both are going to be willing to work on it, you know, as long as you're both willing to work on it, then you should have no problem taking an unhealthy relationship and turning it into a healthy one, provided that you don't let it get carried away to the point where you have nothing else left to do but call it quits, you know, or call it time to end, you know, and you don't want to do that. I really don't think you do, you know. I think that you're the type of person out there, most of my listeners are the type of person, is that they genuinely do want to be in a relationship. They do want to have that kind of they want to have that kind of relationship, you know. I'm trying to think of the right word, where it's fresh and anew. You know, fresh and anew. They want to feel like it's the best thing that's ever come with them. They want to feel like it's something good, okay? Because they've been through the same thing, Okay? So, all right? Now, we're going to talk about something else here. And I know that this is going to be a mind boggling experience for you. Yeah. Some of you ladies out here are not going to agree on this. I'm going to step on your toes tonight. I said I would. Okay? But I'm going to tell you. We're going to talk about this, and I know y'all going to be shocked. We're going to talk about you and your relationship and getting involved in a relationship like we are tonight. But let's shift the focus. We only have a little bit of time to talk about this. Okay? I'm telling you, I'm going to step on some toes tonight. This is coming right from resources and studies. And some of y'all are not going to believe this. Okay? Well, let's do it. This topic that we're going to talk about, this little subtopic off the side of what we're mainly talking about is why you should always have sex on a first date. Woo! You heard me. Some of y'all are like, what? What the fuck did you just say, Crazy Chris? I'm going to repeat it. Why you should always have sex on a first date. Okay? Let's talk about this. Now, ladies, you know, we've all heard it before. Okay? Every woman's magazine. All your girlfriends. Every dating site has always been adamant about one rule of dating. No sex on the first date. Even millionaire matchmaker Patty Stanger is strict about the rule. No sex without monogamy. Now, you know Patty Stanger is still single, right? And I'm here to tell you to ignore what everyone says and you go ahead and bang him on the first date. Now, how do I know? Well, nearly all of my long-term relationships have stemmed from giving it up on date one, you know, and it works. Okay? Now, I'm not saying just let's do it by on my pretensions, okay? I want to read this to you. This comes from a professor who can tell you a little bit more, okay? And I'm going to read you her little insert about why you should always have sex on the first date. Okay, this is might have some of the stuff that I mentioned too on some of this as well. Okay? Now, this comes from an actual sex therapist that actually lives and not only preaches but lives her game. She says, from a girl who has slept with countless amounts of men and a few ladies, I know from doing my research that it's difficult to find a good lay nowadays. We are all into different things in bed, and if he has a really fucked up fetish like sympophilia, mucophilia, or plushophilia, trust me, you want to find this straight away. You want to find this straight out. You want to find this out straight away and get the fuck out of there. And if you didn't really have a good time on your date, but you find him ridiculously hot, the sex might be amazing, and boom, you found yourself a new fuck buddy. Okay? That's what she feels about sexually compatible. Penis size. This is what she has to say about penis size. I don't know about you, but when I'm interested in men, my mind usually goes towards the issue of size. The size of his wallet and also the size of his penis. Naturally. A woman for you. Sure, every guy probably thinks that he's huge, but ladies, we know that the majority of men are average at best. So therefore, you invest any of your valuable spare time in this man. It's advantageous for you to meet his penis, and the sooner the better. How disappointed would you be if you dated this man for weeks? Invested weekends where you four went hanging out in the Hamptons with your girlfriends, getting white girl wasted, only to discover that your potential boyfriend has a weird bendy dick, is an uncircumcised Shar-Pei, or has a penis the size of a cocktail wiener. Take my advice and investigate down south sooner rather than later. Avoid awkwardness. This is what she says also about avoid awkwardness. When there is so much sexual tension between the two of you, it tends to make things awkward. While courtship and dating are fun, a lot of time dating is a bit of a drag. After all, isn't all that dating just leading to a big finale of a climax? Having sex on the first date greatly reduces the anxiety that both of you are experiencing and also eliminates all the trivial concerns that go with dating. If you bang him on the first date, you don't really need to worry so much about the impression you're giving off on the second date. Feel free to show up in yoga pants and a tank top because guess what? He's already seen you naked. The jig is up. And all those games that you play on the first few dates can also be eradicated. Not sure who's going to pay the check? Feel free to push the bill right over to him because guess what? You sucked his dick last week. He can at least pay for dinner. Investment in time. We're all busy and time poor in today's hectic world. Dating is a huge endeavor, and not only sucks up your free time, but sometimes it could end up costing you money. Money that you could be spending on those new shoes, liposuction, or Botox. Sex, on the other hand, is a good gauge of whether all the effort is worth it. So why go through countless dates only to find out that, hey, maybe you don't want his penis in you? Alternatively, if you bang him right away, you can make an informed decision about whether you want to invest any more of your valuable time and money into this man. Let's face it, we are busy, ladies. Fuck being coy. Go out and get laid. If it feels right, do it. Good things come to those who wait. I say that if you wait too long, no one gets to come. I'm with her. I am with her. Wow. I am with her. Bravo. Whoa, let me do a tom-tom on that one. Hi-ya-ya-ya, hi-ya-ya-ya, hi-ya-ya. Get banged and laid on the first date. Don't waste your time on the third and fourth wait. Come on, drop your panties. Let's get it on tonight. Let the music go inside you, make it feel alright. Hey. There you go. Get laid on the first date. I'm telling you, we're living in the world, like this professor, this doctor, this sex therapist said, we're living in times where you are spending too much time, too much money, and wasting valuable precious time by doing it the old-fashioned way. Get laid on the first day, get it out of the way, and it really, really eliminates a lot of the hard steps that you have to go through normally before you get to that point. It opens it wide up. Let's put it this way. It's kind of like you're reading a book, and you have to read through 35 chapters before you find out at the end who killed so-and-so. If you don't want to wait and the book is that boring and you don't know where this book's going, sometimes it's better to find out what the ending is, and then you can go back and read it, and you might like it a little better. I'm telling you now, she hit it on the nose, okay? There is nothing that I can think of that ain't better than having sex on the first date. I strictly agree. In this time and day and age we're in, yeah, I believe it is very kosher to believe in that. Ladies, some of y'all out there think it is so fucking trivial to give up the pussy up right away. You feel like you got to really get to know this person. You feel like you got to go through all this hoops. You are living so old-fashioned. You're living old school. And that's why your ass is still single. And it probably will be. I have mentioned this many times. We had one of our very good, good listeners that listen to KGTR and listens to every episode. This woman is very faithful and dedicated to listen to every episode. So responded and wrote on our Facebook. This is exactly what she said. You can go and have sex on the first date and be happily married till death do you part. Or you can wait 90 days and then have sex with that person and never see that person again. There's no guarantee that because you want to wait and go through the long, drawn-out process that this is going to be a successful, happy relationship for you. You have no better advantage in that relationship with that person by waiting and holding off sexually than you would to give it up right away. You have not any more advantages. In this day and age, it's not going to give you no extra brownie points. you're not doing anything but create. It's actually waiting longer to have sex with that person. You're actually waiting. You're actually creating more stress, and you're creating more problems, and you're doing things the hard way. Get laid. Y'all need to get intimate. Fuck each other. If the fuck is great, everything else between y'all will work itself out. I've never seen to where you can't fuck somebody right away and the sex is awesome. That going out to eat or compromising on what you're like in plays and movies is going to break you up. Never seen it. Never heard it. If the sex is good, then everything else that you do in a relationship will pass. Have you not noticed that? Some of y'all women out there are not getting it. And some of y'all are passing out some really good men. You might want to rethink about about how you want to do things, and look at it look at it from the other side. There's the shoe fits on the other side of the foot. Wear it. Doesn't always mean that your way is the right way. Some of y'all are diehard and feel like giving up the pussy right away is not a good thing. You have nothing to gain extra by not doing it. And then you might end up causing more heartaches or more problems by holding off too long. The doctor hit on the nail. She went through every scenario. I don't see what more needs to be said about this. So I'm going to move on to my other sub-partition. The torture of loving a person who doesn't love you back. Now, I want to tell you something. The first woman I ever fell in love with didn't feel the same way about me. And this wasn't some sort of crush, okay? I really did fall in love, and she really didn't care for me that much. Sure, we would see each other pretty regularly. She was happy to see me, but not exactly for the same reasons as I was. I was just, I was happy just hanging out with her. She was happy when we were fucking, which, what I could say, worked for me at first anyway. I basically chased after her for 2 years. We went through 2 long emotional roller coaster years. Thankfully, my patience paid off after she ended up falling for me. She took a lot of headaches, and, and a box of condoms. But I got her to fall for me in the end. Now, this taught me 2 things. 1, there are people in this world that are worth chasing. And 2, it is possible to make someone fall for you, even if she refuses to do so for years. But it's a lot of work. Now, love is a very complicated thing because it requires 2 people. 2 individuals who are usually, as different as they are similar. Love itself is not something that exists outside the people who feel that they're in love, okay? If that were the case, then, every time one person fell in love with another, the other would automatically fall in love with them as well. I really wish it was that simple, but believe me when I tell you, it ain't. Okay, many of you probably been in a similar situation to one I just described, and likewise can vouch being in love with someone that does not guarantee that this person is going to love you back. However, like beauty exists in the eyes of the beholder, love exists in the mind of a lover, okay? For this reason, it is possible to make someone fall in love with you. Now, I should probably first start off by saying that sometimes you simply can't and won't make people fall for you. Some people, it ain't going to happen. Love is purely rational. And sometimes people fall for people that they will never have. Okay? That is the reality of life we all live in. Just because you feel a certain way about a person does not guarantee that this person will or can feel the same way about you. In order to love people, they have to fill in certain needs, okay? Now, we want to be sexually attracted to them. We have to find their personality appealing. We want to somewhat understand the way they think and appreciate the way they think. There has to be, some sort of physical chemistry, as well as, that also helps push some of the emotions from our minds into our bodies so that we literally feel that we're falling in love. It gets even more complicated when you think about the little things that we find that we don't like about people. Things that have become ingrained in us, okay? Starting at very young ages. Now, all of this leads into, the reality of the situation, okay? All these things about a person that bothers us makes it difficult for us to be happy, and being happy is what love is all about. Okay, it isn't always the imperfections that people see in you that makes them love you. It gets even more complicated because falling in love isn't just about meeting the right person, is it? It's about meeting the right person at the right time. At a time when you are capable and you're willing to love and fall in love. If the individual you love isn't isn't in the right state of mind to love you, that's when the person, won't love you, okay? If he or she is not willing to fall in love, or if he or she isn't willing to consider the possibility that he or she may love you, then he or she may never love you. It's not about falling in love, it's about letting yourself fall in love, okay? It's about letting yourself fall in love, people, not about falling in love. Did you hear me? It's about opening yourself up and making yourself vulnerable. Something that many, many people will refuse to do. However, things like this do change in time. In my case, it took 2 years. In other cases, it takes much less time. What it really depends is how well you can fill that person's needs. If you can make him or happy, if you can make him or her happy, if you can satisfy them, if you can make him or her feel safe with you and trust you, then in time there's a good chance that he or she will fall in love with you. Now, the happier you make that person, the more likely it is that he or she's going to fall in love with you. Why? Because love and happiness are very closely related. Love and happiness! Woo! Yeah! Do. Love and happiness! Hiya! Woo! So, anyhow, if you are in love with someone and believe that this person can one day love you, but simply aren't in the right place in his or her life, then just makes that person happy every time that you see him or her. After a while, the correlation of happiness with that person's interaction, well, with you, then it will end up leading him or her to be happy every time that this person sees you. You see what I'm saying? So he or she's going to be happy with the anticipation of happiness. If you really love someone, people, then I don't recommend that you give up on that person, okay? No matter how hard or stubborn they are, stay with them. But keep in mind one very important thing. If you love someone, then your one and only job as a lover is to make that person happy. If you don't believe you can make him or her happy, then you need to accept the fact that it will never work and stop torturing yourself. A lot of us do that. I've done it. I know what it's like to love somebody and they don't love you back. I have been hurt. Crazy Chris had been hurt in his past. And I didn't think I would ever get over it. I really didn't. And I know I'm getting emotional because I think back of time when that has happened to me. But I'm also thinking about my listeners. Somebody's going through that right now. It's fucking torture. The torture of loving a person who doesn't love you back. It is. It's physically, emotionally, mind-boggling torture to love somebody and they do not love you back. They would never give you the time of day. And you try and you throw out hints or maybe you come straight out and tell them how you feel and they don't, and they do what? They just kind of laugh maybe or they'll like, really, you're not my type, and they may even say something to hurt your feelings and it pushes you further away. I know how you're feeling. I know how you're feeling. Yes. I've been there. I know what it's like. And it's not fun. People these days can be very cruel. And I know this for a fact. I do. I've been there. Crazy Chris has been in some relationships to where he really, really liked these people. And I've been in love. One time, I was really in love with a woman. I loved her so much. And I saw myself starting a family with her. This was first, I was young. I just come out of a really bad divorce because I was married young. And I wanted to start my life over. And I thought I had a diamond in the gym who was going to, we talked a lot about having 2 kids, and just talk about the joy of this, how this would be. And, it was so good. I got turned on, started playing around a little bit, and got busted. Got busted in the parking lot and was told to move on, move on. But yeah, um, when you love somebody and you go out of your way, you do everything for them, and then they don't love you back, that hurts. So I know how you feeling out there, folks. If you're in this situation, just make sure that you keep yourself from being in situations that cause you to hurt. And don't love too hard until you know that somebody has some kind of interest back in you. Because sometimes when you love so hard right out the gate and it doesn't come back to you the same way, or they don't want to acknowledge you, that shit hurts. So, you know, it's one of the few things that you need to be careful of. I think it's very important that I talk to you about that tonight, because there's nothing like trying to love somebody that doesn't love you back. Is it, folks? And then, last thing I want to touch up on is, before we get off the air, because it'll be time to get ready to go to our music break real quick, and then we're going to be coming back for Crazy Chris after show here in a few minutes. But I just want to say something. Some of y'all women out there that are talking to guys, this mainly women. This is, men do this too, but I want to talk to the women out there because I think it's more prevalent in women. You're talking to a really good man, but you're fucking it up. Some of y'all out there are really, really fucking it up for yourself. You don't know a good man from a bullfrog. You want to be happy. You wonder why you aren't in a committed relationship. Maybe it's because of the way you do things. Maybe it's because of the way you're thinking. Maybe you need to change up your game plan. Maybe you need to chill off on some of your ways, or some of what you think is proper and right in your head. Stop always thinking that your way is always the right way. Compromise. Do these things that we talked about. Do something that you never thought you would do. Change it up. Try it once. Try it once. You might like it. Might like it. Crazy Chris, Tom Tom. Yeah. You never know. Change it up. Change is good. Let's have a little church in here. Change is good. Y'all like that? Woo! I said change is good. You gotta change your ways, ladies. Stop playing those games with your man. Woo! Come on, ladies. I'm gonna have church the KGTR FM way. Yeah. Woo! Ooh, God help me. Yeah, change is good. You gotta put that little good in there. Good. Woo! Change is good, y'all. For real. I'm telling you now. What are you waiting on? Stop being miserable and start making yourself happy. Ladies, if there's a man chasing you tonight, stop making him chase you. Give it up. Stop where you are. Turn around and say, you know what? You've been chasing me. You've been trying to go through all these things in your head about me. All these ups and downs, the conversations we had, the denials. I know you want me. I know you want me. And I feel in my heart that I want to trust you. You're not going to do me wrong. Take me. Fuck me. Show me you want me. Desire me. Now take it to the bedroom. Bam! Okay, so that's what I have to say about that. Okay? Stop playing in wasteless relationships. Relationships are wasted when you got too much stuff going on that ain't working out for you. Don't invest all this time into a worthless relationship. If you're having to chase him or her, and you're chasing over and over, and you're not getting any further, hell, maybe you're chasing them so much you can't even get a meat out of them. It may be time to just let it go. Cut your ties as much as you don't want to, and say goodbye to each other and move along, wish each other well. I guarantee that 9 out of 10 times it's going to be because of the woman. Because she's making it difficult for him. I'm not saying, I know that some of y'all probably after some of y'all women are going to get mad about that. Y'all going to be like, really? Yeah, I'm going to say really. Because most of the time, it all stands over one thing. Because a woman is in denial of when it's time to begin. She doesn't feel like a man should be coming at her intimately. I guess she feels like, hey, I don't mind you talking to me. I don't mind us doing things. But then when you start talking about sexually, I can't handle that. Why not? You ought to be glad that the man finds your ass sexy. Shit, you might be looking like a barracuda. But he sees something different in you. He trying to get to know you. He trying to love you. He's trying to fall in love with you. And you steadily let him chase you all over and you won't hold still. Shame on you. Shame on you. Guys, you a good man out there. You chase a woman around like this and she don't want to give you time of day. You know what? Fuck her. When I say fuck her, I mean let her go. It's her fucking loss. It's her fucking loss. Okay? You might got everything ready. You got some of you men got your chickens in order. You got your eggs hatched. You got them already. You got a whole layout plan. You got a house lined up. You got a good stable job. You got, your credit's good or whatever. You're ready to support this woman financially, physically, emotionally, sexually. And she just won't give herself to you. She will not do it under any pretentious but her ideal of doing it. She doesn't understand that you could skip all the nonsense and bullshit if she would just come off of her high fucking mountain of holiness and realize that there is more to life than holding back because she's scared that you want a piece of her pie. What the fuck? And last I heard that when two people have sex, it feels good for both. You act like it's going to be a task for you to give it up, lady. You act like it's going to be such a big deal because he put his dick in you and made you come. Oh my God, you act like that is taking so much off of you. You act like sex is a chore. It's something you got to work hard at. Sex is pleasurable. Sex is fun. Everyone's doing it. Have some fun. What is your problem? What is your problem tonight? Okay? Unless you're married to God and you made a solid commitment to be a nun, I don't see why you're holding yourself and saving yourself. You're only getting older every day. You're not getting younger. Some of y'all women have yet to see that. And that's the part of the program where men are excluded on this because men ain't have that problem. I don't know any men going back, I'm not giving her no sex for 90 days. She's going to have to wait. 1% of y'all out there, maybe. That's because y'all are Jewish or y'all are real religious fanatics or whatever's going on. But most normal men in this planet, it's not gonna worry about when the woman wants to have sex. The sooner the better is what he's going to tell you. He's wired properly. The woman has been brainwashed to think that that's a big no-no. It's so taboo. Oh, great-grandma so-and-so, great-grandma Eloise told me that we should not do that. Little ladies keep their legs closed. They don't have sex on the first date. You have been brainwashed. You have let the 50s and 60s and even the 70s eras brainwash you into believing that sexuality should only be observed at certain times in a person's life, or you have to be married, or you have to do. They have brainwashed you. Something so beautiful and popular, and it makes money. It was good for businesses. Think about it. I don't understand this. I really, really don't understand this. Why so many people, individualities, start with women, black women, are so hard up, they catch in the second ball. So, I don't know much more to say about it. I'm just going to put it this way. You're passing on to some really good men out there, ladies. Get it straight. Stop wasting your time on wasteless relationships. Start getting into something meaningful. Or don't try to go out and date at all. Keep your pussy to yourself. Take yourself off the market. and being old prude and die a miserable old hag with a pussy that didn't have no use for anything, and you end up being alone because you chose to live that way, all because of the sake of what? What's between your legs, and didn't help you in either case. Folks, I'm Crazy Chris. You have been listening to a great production tonight of episode 81-3. Yes. It's been a wonderful night, hasn't it? Woo-wee! Stay tuned. We got Crazy Chris's picks coming up. About a 15-minute break. And then Crazy Chris after the show coming back on live right here in about 15 minutes. Don't miss this show. It's going to be a breakdown of this issue tonight where we're going to really cut down to the nitty-gritty. And then we'll get you on your way for your weekend. So, I've enjoyed my time with you tonight. Crazy Chris is glad that our servers were back up. They did a hell of a job. And I enjoyed it. So, I can't wait to see you back here for the Crazy Chris after the show. La 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 la. Had fun with the tom-tom. Woo! Yeah. So, what a great night. Episode 81-3, April 7th, April 18th. Woo! 2014! Counting down, getting closer and closer to the end of the Crazy Chris Talk Show. Coming soon! Getting ever so closely to the finale of the show. The series finale. 18 episodes and counting. Wow. I'll see you back here in about 15 minutes for after the show. See ya.